Kyrie makes it.
No, no,
What are you saying?
no. I don't.
Mavs is 7-2 when Kyrie plays and Luka doesn't. He's been hurt, that's all. But Kyrie has been pretty like solid this year.
I think Kyrie brings out in me like a very negative person.
Man.
So not because I don't think he's not. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's one of the best players the NBA has ever produced. He's phenomenal at what he can do. But I just don't think he plays winning basketball. All across all seasons.
But
He's
what about it? What about it strikes you as not winning basketball?
so okay. This is also true even for a guy like KD, right? Which is ISO basketball. They are pure ISO scorers, right? Now, if you put KD in a system that works, like you put him into the Warrior system, all he has to do is drop 25, do a little bit of defense, they're going to win games. But by themselves, just by themselves, they cannot really carry winning franchises. They
See,
may win some games, they may be really spectacular in some games. They may be the best player, extremely efficient. All of that is true. But they take like in terms of impact on the court for winning, like I feel like a guy like Jalen Williams has more impact than let's say a Kyrie Irving.
so
Right?
I see it's it's about the lens you're viewing it through. I don't disagree when you say that you cannot win a championship with Kyrie as your number one. No question about it.
Right, right.
I I disagree when you say that Kyrie's scoring style is based off isolation because that's literally not how he plays in Dallas. Like there are isolation setups for him. You have isolation plays for him, and why wouldn't you? He's one of the best ISO players of our generation. So I understand having ISO, but he is as portable, which is what I saw in Brooklyn when Harden joined. Like Kyrie effortlessly became a two guard, and he stayed
Hmm.
a two guard since. Before that, when LeBron came, we all know LeBron, any team LeBron's on, he's the point guard. You can have a
Okay.
point guard on paper, but LeBron James is the point guard.
Right. You can have
So
Mario Chalmers, but
you have to
it's
you have to
LeBron.
alter it. Kyrie is not a number one. I agree with that. He Small guards are rarely championship level number ones in history. I think
Hmm.
there's two: Isaiah Thomas and Steph. Who
Right,
else?
right.
Small. There's no other small guard
Yeah.
at that level. Like maybe Jason Kidd in his prime, if he did not run into the Lakers and the Spurs, maybe it was him
But
that
Jason Kidd was
bubbled.
not small. Jason Kidd was like
Yeah,
what,
he's
six
also
five,
like
six
six
six,
five.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
tank. Yeah.
You can't even count
So,
Jason
yeah.
Kidd.
No,
So
no, you can't.
Kyrie as a number one option, I agree. This is where our Jimmy Butler conversation also comes
Right.
because I think Jimmy Butler as a number one option is better than Kyrie. But Jimmy Butler as a number two option, especially next to a player like Luca, I think Kyrie is the better option because Kyrie is, and this is statistically true, one of the best off-ball scorers of our time also because he can just come off the catch, create an opportunity for himself within 3 to 5 seconds, and there's going to be an outcome. Players will miss all the time. Kyrie is freakishly efficient for a player of his size. He's been 50, 40, 90 before, which is, and like on good volume. And there is genuinely something about Kyrie as a fourth quarter player. Like now, especially as he's getting older, he takes entire quarters off. That's why I agree with you. He's not number one because he needs
Hmm.
to take entire quarters off to then have the, pounce and the
Wow.
energy to attack you in the fourth. If you watch Mavs games, it seems very obvious that sometimes it's straight up
Okay.
Luka is first and third quarter, Kyrie is second and fourth. They will, of
Right.
course, it's not that linear. It's not always like that.
Yeah, but there's some amount of like you take this quarter, I take this quarter
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And this year
Yeah.
especially because now you've 23, that does not count because Luca and Kyrie played like 8 games together. Luca was hurt. We were tanking. It was such a weird like end of the year, especially after we traded Kyrie because the roster made no sense after we lost Dorian Finney-Smith in that trade. Roster made no sense. There was no chance of winning. That's why when people were like, "Oh no, you have to push for the 10th seed and then try to get in through the plane," like made no sense to me. So I was
That's
happy that we tanked the end of that year. But with Kyrie and Luka last year, I don't think there's any, like, you cannot dispute it after what they did last year, because we beat 350 win teams in the playoffs.